So microplastics are hurting children's brains. It's not a fun topic to talk about, but people need to know. I'm going to talk about what the studies show, as well as some of your biggest sources of microplastics so you can avoid them with your kids. There's already tons of studies showing that microplastics hurt people's brains. Okay, it accelerates cognitive decline in the elderly, and it increases the symptoms and the onset of Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's. There's now a few studies showing what they do in children. Microplastics are the physical pieces of plastic that will break off of a big piece of plastic, and they're going to basically scratch up and cause inflammation all over our body. Also bad though, because they bring in tons of hazardous chemicals as well as lots of antibiotic resistant bacteria. There was a recent study that looked at over 5,000 children that are between 7 and 10 in school. They took urine samples, tested that for microplastics, as well as giving them cognitive tests. There was a significant association between the amount of microplastics in their urine as well as their ability on multiple cognitive tests. And basically, it was dose dependent, meaning the more microplastics a child had in their body, the worse they did on cognitive tests. There was also another study this year on school children that showed significant associations between urinary microplastic levels and adverse behavioral outcomes. All right, including increased emotional problems, hyperactivity, and conduct issues, suggesting potential neurotoxic and endocrine disrupting properties of microplastics. We also have hundreds of studies showing that the chemicals that plastic is made out of cause neurodevelopmental issues. So all that being said, what can you do to avoid microplastics? It can seem overwhelming, right? Plastic is everywhere and everything. However, not every plastic exposure is created equal. There are some that are way worse than others. Here are some of your biggest sources that have been shown in studies. Number one, bottled water. Stop drinking out of single-serve disposable plastic water bottles. I have about 100 videos on this. Please get a water filter and give your children filtered water instead of just giving them a disposable plastic water bottle. That is all bad. Number two, you gotta stop eating ultra-processed foods. Biggest exposure source to microplastics is your diet, but it doesn't come from the packaging. And that is one thing that a lot of people don't understand. They think that just the plastic packaging is what puts microplastics into a food. And yeah, that contributes a little, but nowhere near as much as the amount of processing that happened before that food was put in the packaging. This is not the packaging that's putting plastic into the food. It is the amount of machines and surfaces that food touched before it ever got into that packaging, okay? Many studies have shown that the more processed that food is, the more microplastics and chemicals it also has. That up to 75% of the food that a toddler eats is ultra processed, right? So that's all the veggie straws, the goldfish, the Uncrustables, right? The yogurt smoothie melts, granola bars. I don't care whether it's organic or not. All of that is ultra processed. Your child needs to eat whole fruits and whole vegetables. Another big one is pureed fruit pouches. Applesauce pouches, baby food pouches, anything that comes in a plastic pouch that is pureed. I've done lots of videos on this as well. All of those were cooked in that plastic. Very bad. They need to eat fresh food. If it comes in a box with a nutrition label, then it's going to have microplastics.